Good afternoon. You're listening to High Noon Friday, Fredonia's longest-running variety radio program, brought to you by WCVF 88.9 The Voice and WDVL 89.5 The Inferno. I'm Izzy Noel.
And I'm Sarah Lotospoto. Today's episode is available streaming worldwide at FredoniaRadio.com.
Coming up, we'll bring you the latest in news, sports, and weather. But first, campus news. Today, there will be a new exhibit opening in Marion Art Gallery. The exhibit, Unlimited Space, will feature the work of 27 students who are set to graduate later this month. The title references the unlimited possibilities available to these students in their future. There will be digital illustrations, animated short films, photographs, sculpture, and graphic designs. There will be a reception tonight from 6 to 9 p.m. to open the exhibit. The exhibit will be free to view and is open to the public until Sunday, May 11th.
A SUNY Fredonia student has just edited and published a memoir. English minor Sivian Adler worked on a Holocaust memoir, Who Will Take Care of the Cat, with their grandmother, Irene Adler. There will be a campus book launch on Tuesday, May 6th at 11 a.m. in Fenton Hall, room 105, with the reading from the book. May 6th also marks 80 years since Sivian's grandfather, Bernard Adler, was liberated from Ebony's concentration camp in Austria, just before Germany was officially surrendered in World War II. After reading, there will be a reception to celebrate the release. This event is open to the public.
Today is Radiothon. Fredonia Radio Systems will be broadcasting only live shows for the next 24 hours. Catch shows like We Can't Stop Talking at 1 p.m., Hot Ones at 5 p.m., Lover Call at 12 a.m., and finish off the weekend with the Big Cheeseburger Challenge at 12 p.m. tomorrow. Check our Instagram at Fredonia_radio for the full schedule.
Thanks, Izzy. If you're interested in concert ticket giveaways, stay tuned for a talk with Chloe Kowalik from Ironworks. We'll also be having our classically chaotic segment, Trivia, slightly after 12. We'll also be listening to a few of our weekly segments, such as FRS-RS and Chasing Shadows.
Let's start with our local news update prepared by Maisie, followed by our sports update prepared and read by Matt, and then our weather update with Regan. What's going on, Maisie?
Thanks, guys. The invasive species, the lanternfly, has been found in Chautauqua County. The fly is known for damaging and feeding off of 70 different types of plants, such as grapevines, fruit trees, and hardwoods, making this species a serious threat to the local agriculture. The sighting was first reported at Hogan's Hut in Stowe. Residents are urged to inspect their surroundings, such as outdoor equipment and trailers, but if you spot a lanternfly, catch it and place it in a closed and sealed container, with alcohol preferably or hand sanitizer. Then report it to the New York State Department of Agriculture. Next, the 17th annual Come to the Table fundraiser for Court-Appointed Special Advocates, or CASA, of Chautauqua County is set for Thursday, May 8th at Chautauqua County Suites in Mayville. Doors open at 5 with the live table auction beginning at 6:30. Tickets will be $20 and will be available at the door. The fundraiser includes music from the Jamestown High School Chamber Orchestra, and the table themes include Ground Yourself, Holiday Hometown Harmony, Mid-Century Breakfast, Oh How I Love Being a Woman, and #MomLife. You can find the prizes and the rest of the basket themes online. There are tons more. One other thing that is more international news is an update. Oreo came out with a new flavor. This one is Cherry Blossom Matcha. That's pretty much it for local county news. Now let's send it over to the first friend I met in college, Matt Voltz.
Thank you, Maisie, and you are absolutely correct. You were the first friend that I met in college as well. Well, the baseball team has a 3-game series this weekend starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. They're traveling to Plattsburgh for their final series of the season. Saturday's doubleheader begins at 10 a.m. and a standalone game ends the season at noon on Sunday. The softball team swept Canton yesterday with scores of 16-2 and 5-4. The Blue Devils currently sit 5th in the conference in line for a playoff spot. They're at home for a pair of doubleheaders this weekend, facing New Paltz starting at 3 p.m. today and Oneonta starting at noon tomorrow. Their regular season concludes next Monday with a doubleheader at home against the University of Rochester starting at 3 p.m. The men's and women's track and field teams are competing in their SUNYAC championships this weekend. Cameron Sample was nationally ranked in the top 10 in the long jump earlier this season, and he could be in line to continue past SUNYACs. The men's 4x100 meter relay team also set a school record at a meet back in April, and they may be near the top of the scoreboard this weekend. On the women's team, Cara Pelleccia is one of the favorites in the pole vault. The two-day event hosted by Cortland starts today and runs through tomorrow. And the Buffalo Bandits are in the National Lacrosse League semifinals for the 5th straight season, and their best-of-3 series begins tonight against the Vancouver Warriors. In the opening round, Buffalo defeated the San Diego Seals by a final score of 5-4, the lowest scoring game in the history of the league. Last week, Buffalo also became the first team ever to win a playoff game despite being shut out in the entirety of the second half, and just the 4th team to ever do that in any game in league history. The Bandits will need to find some offense to get past Vancouver, who is red hot thanks to their trade deadline acquisition of star goalie Christian Del Bianco. Buffalo did get some good news earlier this week as NLL insider Adam Levi reported that last year's league MVP star forward Josh Byrne should be good to go for Game 1 tonight. Byrne limped off the floor in the 4th quarter against San Diego, and he did not return. Buffalo has home field advantage in this series, and Game 1 gets started at 7:30 p.m. tonight at KeyBank Center. Game 2 will be in Vancouver at 9 p.m. on Sunday, and if a winner-take-all Game 3 is necessary, it will be in Buffalo next weekend. The Bandits have been to the NLL Finals in every season since 2019, and they're 2 wins away from making it 5 straight trips to the finals. And yours truly will be there in attendance. I'm wearing my Josh Byrne jersey today, hoping for the best and hoping for the Bandits to reach the NLL Finals once again and go for a 3rd straight championship. I want to give a shout out to our sports director, Mitch Carusi, who couldn't be on today. Unfortunately, he's having some car troubles. He asked me to give a shout out to his car, so Godspeed and good luck to Mitch Carusi's car. That'll do it for your sports update today. Happy Radiothon. Everyone have a fantastic and safe weekend. We're going to send it over to Regan for our weather update.
Now, here is your Northern Chautauqua weather update brought to you by Fredonia Radio Systems.
Thank you, Matt. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope you've had a good week and are ready for this weekend. If you plan on going out at all, it's best to know what to expect for the weather, so let me tell you about it. Today, we are looking forward to a high of 67 and a low of 47. The afternoon should stay partly cloudy, but there's a chance for some sporadic rain showers, especially in the early evening. Keep in mind with this warmer weather and relentless moisture, that will be pretty humid out as well. Tomorrow we'll have a high of 52 and a low of 48, giving us a slightly cooler day. However, that rain might end up hitting us hard again, as it will start in the early morning and last into the night, with the occasional short-term break throughout it. Sunday is looking quite similar to Saturday, with decent chances of rain for pretty much the whole day. It will start to warm up a bit, though, with a high of 57 and a low of 51. That is all the weather I have for you this Friday. No matter what you're up to today and this weekend, please stay safe, be responsible, and remember that you are your best thing. Now let's take it back to our astonishing hosts.
Thank you, Maisie, Matt, and Regan. Next up, we have a behind-the-scenes look at Fredonia Radio Systems. This is FRS-RS.
Hey.
Hello.
So, if you didn't know already, I'm Izzy.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Tatum.
And we're going to talk about something that's happening today. We're going to talk about Radiothon.
Ooh, fun.
Radiothon. Okay. Tatum, this is your first Radiothon, is it?
This is my first Radiothon.
Sarah, you've been a part of Radiothon before.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
I'm super excited to
definitely
be here.
last year.
Super excited to be here for the show that's kicking off, Radiothon.
Yeah. To be the board op for the show that's kicking off Radiothon.
Yeah. Oh God.
You're
Everyone
just
get
that
hype.
cool.
Yo. Whoop, whoop.
So, if you don't know what Radiothon is essentially 24 hours of live radio. So, from right when we started this show, all the way to tomorrow, every show that happens will be live. Every single one. We have quite a few coming up. I know that we mentioned in our campus news update what some of those shows would be. I'm going to look back at our list and see.
Which you can find on our Instagram
Yeah.
at Fredonia Radio _.
That is where
okay.
Fredonia underscore radio. So, right after this, we have, I think they decided their show is going to be We Can't Stop Talking with Megan Carey.
Ooh, okay.
Awesome.
We've got Modern Metal Music Mayhem with Ryan and Micah, who they are on every Friday, so you might recognize them. We've got some of our classic CBF shows like Dual Screens, The Melissa and Justin Show, and then we also have some one-off Radiothon shows. So I see we've got Ryan's Recreational Ruckus. We've got Chew on This, Power Hour. I'm going to be doing Izzy's Hyperfixation Hour at 11 p.m.
Ooh, that sounds exciting.
So, which will then lead us to some of our DVL shows that we'll have simulcasted today, such as Lover Call. And we have a Lover Call host in the booth if you want to say anything. No, yeah, there we go.
Now you can talk.
That is correct. That is correct. We do. I am the quarterback. I go by no other name other than the quarterback.
Just the quarterback.
That is correct. That is correct. Matt Volt stepped out and I stepped in. Yes, it is very fun. It's something we start because Lover Call usually is on WDVL.
Yeah.
From 10 to midnight, and we got the idea last semester to do a Lover Callers special. So there's a thing that we do for Lover Call, where in each issue of The Leader, we write a column and it runs in conjunction with one of the episodes that we did. And at the end of the column, there is a QR code that any readers can scan, and that takes them to a Google form where they can give themselves, because it's all anonymous, so everybody has a code name, so they can tell us their code name, tell us their pronouns, and tell us any sort of question that they might have as it relates to love and relationships, or any sort of situation they might be going through that they need advice on. And we always stress that we're not experts in the field. You know, we're fellow college students, but we might have either lived through similar experiences or might currently be going through similar experiences and have some words of advice to offer. So that's a little segment that we do in all of our regular episodes of Lover Call. And we got the idea last fall to say, why don't we do because it's on WCVF, so we have to be a bit less than what we usually are, because we usually air at 10 p.m. on WDVL, so sometimes things can get a tad raunchy, and obviously being on WCVF, we cannot do that as much. So we said, what if we just did Lover Callers and answered people's questions live, and specifically had put up a code in the station that people could scan. And last semester, we had, I think, like 15 or 16 different Lover Callers, which was fantastic. So yeah, that'll be at midnight tonight. It'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
I honestly can't wait, because we have so many DVL shows that are now going to be simulcasted. It's going to be a good one. So we got to talk about this. We are doing, and we'll have our connection here to talk about this a little bit more in depth later, but we will be doing a concert ticket giveaway this Radiothon, which is a very first for FRS. But like I said, we will talk about that more later.
Yeah, a little sneak peek into later this episode.
into about 20 minutes from now. If even. I might not have my math right.
So, Izzy, I just have a question about your show.
Yeah.
So, do you have a specific topic in mind you're willing to share right now? I'm very curious.
Okay, here's the thought. So throwback to freshman year when I had no clue what I wanted to do, but I wanted a show. It's really hard to talk about things that you don't know what you want to talk about, right? I sat there and I'd be like, oh, yeah, and so, you know, and it was really awful and terrible and awkward. So I decided that I was going to do something similar to what me and former WCVF program director Heather would do, where we would kind of just talk for like a whole hour, but it would always be things that we were like both obsessed with at the moment. Except what I'm going to be doing tonight is curating my own little playlist of my music hyperfixations, such as
Epic musical.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen, no.
Okay, I would like to preface, I do have her on Earbuds, which is like an app that shows you,
you know what?
your friends are listening to.
I don't
every
need
single
this
time. It's just
slander.
You know,
epic.
I also have Izzy on earbuds, and I don't open earbuds very often, but when I do,
Hey.
I always see that Izzy has listened to 45,000 hours of lo-fi fruits.
Okay.
Too.
Fun fact, I have not listened to like music on my headphones in the past couple of days. And the last time that I played music on my phone was last night while I was hanging out with a friend. So while we were getting ready to go out, I promise I played other things. But then lo-fi was just playing on my TV and I just kept forgetting to like switch
Is
that
that
off.
what it is?
Yeah, if you ever see like way too much, like way more lo-fi than is like humanly possible, it's probably because I put it on before I fell asleep and then I forgot to turn it off in the morning, and it's a vicious cycle.
No, I do not open earbuds very often, but when I do, I almost always see Izzy is in the top 1% of lo-fi fruits listeners.
Listen, I don't
Yeah.
need the slander right now.
No,
just
dude, I
figured-
love it.
I just
Great.
figured you were so busy 24/7. You were just studying like
Yeah.
every single
So
day for
that-
hours and hours and hours.
That playlist that plays used to be called studying, but I don't study, so I don't have things to study for. Everything I do is a project. So it's called lo-fi reading now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're gonna be playing that tonight?
No, it's gonna be stuff like some water parks, Good Kid, because you know me, I love Good Kid. I love Good Kid with my whole heart. Shout out Good Kid. That's it's good. Get it?
It's just a good kid.
No, it is such a good band. So it'll be stuff like that. Maybe some Hit Girl.
Ooh.
Maybe
Hit Girl mentioned?
Hit Girl. Maybe I'll throw in a Relentless Moisture song.
Ooh. Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I might look back at my top 100 songs from 2024 and just throw a bunch of them in a playlist.
As you should.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'm hoping it will be.
Oh, dude, we made it to the Animal Crossing music.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, we did. So, Sarah, how many radiothons have you been a part of?
3. Cause
Gosh.
yeah, no, because I started. I think I started High Noon Friday in the spring semester of last year.
So this is your third radiothon.
Yeah.
Tatum, this is your first. Do you want to hear a scary number? This is my 6th.
Wow.
And I see the fellow juniors in the booth cringing because this is our 6th radiothon. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Hey,
that was a scary number.
thanks for making me feel old, Izzy.
Can I tell a
listen.
story about my first radiothon?
Yeah.
So my first radiothon, my roommate and I, we were just, we were hanging out with, we were just hanging out in the station,
Yeah.
And this guy, Alex, comes up to us and he's like, oh my God, like, there's this one kid who is supposed to be on in like 4 hours. He hasn't been trained. I don't know what he looks like. Literally, I've never seen him in the station ever. And I was like, Alex, I got you. Like, let me do it. We were trained right then and there. We've never been on air before. We had no idea what we were going to say, and we went on an hour later. It was the craziest radiothon ever.
Wow.
It was
No, 'cause
so fun.
My first radiothon, I wound up on for so many hours because we had Pro Gamer Hour, 1, 2, and 3.
I remember that.
And then we had, I don't remember if Silly Goose and Busy Bee were the same year. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I do not recall. But I was on for a lot of hours my first radiothon because Alex was just like, hey, we need more people
Yeah.
for Pro Gamer Hour.
He was on
otherwise
like
it's just gonna
7
be
times.
me.
Yeah.
So, what is Silly Goose? What's that show?
It is when you're up in the radio station for so long that you're becoming delirious.
Yeah.
So just everything is funny. That is essentially what just about anything was.
So our Professor Igo, 'cause
Yes.
we still have 3
Yes.
slots open,
Yeah.
guys. Whoever wants it. You have to be trained though.
Yeah.
You do.
So our Professor Igo, who he runs the station, he's our advisor. He emails us today. He emails the e-board or FRS, and he's like, "What happened to Silly Goose Hour? Is anything going on with that?" So
Which
if
is
anyone's
so funny.
delirious at
Listen,
What
I
time
got
is it?
offered to co-host at 8 a.m. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But happy Radiothon, everyone.
Yeah.
Happy Radiothon.
Happy Radiothon. Please stay tuned and see some of our amazing show hosts who are trying out a show for the first time or maybe aren't usually on CVF. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good 24 hours.
It's always fun. Yeah.
It absolutely is. It's always fun to listen to, especially if you're up late at night and you're listening to us who are also probably up late at night, have been up since about now, at least. It'll be fun. So thank you all for tuning in and listening to FRSRS. And now we are going to hand it back to the hosts. Thanks for the segment. Next up is Chasing Shadows with Owen.
Yes, clear. Pacific. 4423 live the whole data. Will be clear on it and for E. Edward and so we're both there 50.
In the fall of 1943, the USS Eldridge, a Cannon-class destroyer of the United States Navy, allegedly vanished from sight. The same ship was then seen in the Norfolk Harbor, where it remained only for a moment, just to disappear and reappear back in the city of Philadelphia. The crew of the Eldridge were said to have experienced a myriad of effects, including nausea, burn marks, and insanity. Could this tall tale be a myth and a simple error of fact? Or is it evident of a secret government experiment, or even the meddling of alien life forces? I'm Owen Branges. You're listening to Chasing Shadows on High Noon Friday, where today we discuss the Philadelphia experiment. Carl Meredith Allen is the only individual who claims to have witnessed the USS Eldridge disappearing. What Allen claimed is that the vessel was successfully made invisible, but was momentarily teleported to Norfolk, Virginia. Allen posited that the ship remained in Norfolk for only a few minutes before mysteriously reappearing in the Philadelphia harbor. The story originated when Allen sent an anonymous package labeled Happy Easter to the U.S. Office of Naval Research. In this package was an annotated copy of Morris K. Jessup's book, The Case for the Unidentified Flying Object. The annotations of this text seem to depict a three-person conversation regarding extraterrestrial life, technologies of superhuman cultures, and the physical experiments they carried out. Following this package, Carl Allen mailed a series of letters to Jessup, warning him of the dangers of researching alien life, as well as the first written witness of the supposed Philadelphia experiment. Allen was a merchant marine, and he was aboard the SS Andrew Fariseth in Philadelphia, where he claimed that he witnessed the Eldridge appearing for a moment only to disappear minutes later. Carl Allen said in 1969 that he authored all of the annotations in the Jessup text, which was sent to the ONR. This discounts the idea that actual extraterrestrial life was involved in the disappearance of the ship. A popular theory around the Philadelphia experiment is that it was a test in degaussing the ship, or bringing its magnetic signature down to an untraceable level. This was actually a very common application among military ships of the era, and is completely plausible that the USS Eldridge would have gone through a degaussing process. This process was done in order to eliminate the attraction of underwater mines. The degaussing process, however, could have also affected a ship's radar signature. A similar idea, though much more speculative, claims that the ship had generators emitting electromagnetic radiation that was able to manipulate the light, rendering the ship invisible. As for the effects on the crew, some historians believe it can be attributed to a gas leak on board. This could have explained nausea or other neurological effects, such as hallucinations. While lots of the evidence surrounding the supposed Philadelphia experiment seems more like science fiction than truth, some evidence does lead us to believe there were greater forces at play. Largely, the study of what's called the unified field theory comes up in research. The basic concept around this theory, based in Einstein's research, is that light waves could be manipulated, creating a sort of invisibility cloak caused by refraction. It is true that at this time, the US Navy was sponsoring research regarding the unified field theory, so it's not completely far-fetched that they would have carried out experiments on their own ships. This still doesn't explain how the ship appeared in the Norfolk Harbor. Fortunately for the skeptics who are listening, Carl Allen was the only person who claims to witness its appearance in Norfolk. Sources close to Carl Allen said he struggled his entire life with mental illness and compulsive lying. Knowing this, do you think there's a chance that what he saw was true? Or was there really nothing going on that day in Philadelphia? I'm Owen Branches. Thank you for listening to Chasing Shadows on High Noon Friday, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for the segment. Next up is a very special interview. Take it away, Izzy.
Hello, everyone. We have a very special guest here today. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Chloe.
And Chloe, what do you do?
What do I do?
What do you do?
So I graduated from Fredonia last May, and I am currently the marketing director over at Buffalo Ironworks, which is a live music venue in downtown Buffalo.
And we've missed you since you graduated.
Oh, thank
We're
you.
so
I miss
happy
you
to
guys
have you
too.
back and have you on
Thank you.
air. So, how did you get into working at Ironworks?
Yeah, so it was kind of crazy. I started there, it was kind of like Thanksgiving time-ish. So last November, I was just kind of scrolling through Instagram one day, and I follow like all the venues in Buffalo and, around. And they posted that they were looking to add someone to their marketing team. And I just kind of threw my resume in there. I got offered an interview, and it went really well. And somehow I got lucky enough, and they offered me the job.
And Ironworks is like a nice venue.
It is. It's super nice. It fits like 500 people. So, you know, it gets pretty packed in there. But it's cool because it's like there's like 5 shows a week going on. And it's also right next to Key Bank. So a lot of like the Sabres games and the Bandits games, people kind of flow over from there. So it's always poppin' for sure.
I honestly could not picture 500 people in Ironworks.
When it happens,
right,
it's very busy and very crazy in there. And we take out all the tables and the chairs to make more space for people. But yes.
That sounds insane.
Yes, it is very cool though.
So have you had a show so far that you've worked that has been your favorite?
Oh my God, there's so many. This is literally like the hardest question. So there's been like every single genre, and I've only been there since November, but there has been every single genre played at Ironworks, which is cool. But I would say my favorite one, do you guys remember that like yodeling kid from Walmart?
Yeah.
Okay, so his name is Mason Ramsey. He came to my work. It was on the 15th. It was crazy. And that was also the same day as the Sabres game. And so all the Sabres fans come like in while the show's going on. And I swear to God, Mason had everybody yodeling.
I love that.
Just he broke it into groups and he had all the Sabres people yodel. And it was just fantastic and it was so funny.
That sounds like a life-changing experience. I won't even lie.
It was very fun. It was very rewarding for sure.
I wish I could have been there.
Oh my God.
Now hearing
if he
about
comes
it,
back, I'll let you know.
You have to.
I will.
So what are some of the upcoming shows that you have?
Yeah, so there's kind of a lot going on. So summer is usually a little bit slower for the music industry, which is interesting. I would not think that more bands would be
I thought
touring
it would be different.
in the winter in Buffalo, but I guess that's how it happens. But there's still kind of a lot going on, and there's shows most days of the month. So for May, we have a couple that are coming up that are really cool. So there's this guy named Manic Focus that's coming in, and he's a DJ.
Okay.
But his is really unique because he is like also a magician. And he like puts that into his set. So on the 17th, which I'm pretty sure is the same day as commencement.
I think so.
But that night, he's going to be at Buffalo Ironworks doing a magic DJ set. And he has support from this group called Father Figure, which is really cool. So it's going to be like a full like DJ night.
So, you go to commencement, you graduate, and then you go celebrate at Ironworks.
Exactly.
Are there any other shows coming up?
Yes. So next Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday on the 6th, there's this band called Max Sabbath that's coming in. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a Black Sabbath tribute band, except for they do their own thing. They all dress up as like McDonald's characters. So like you got the Ronald McDonald like clown, and you got the like the big hamburger guy.
Yeah,
he's in it.
Hamburglar, right?
Yes, that's
my
him.
goodness.
Yes, exactly. So they're coming, and they are super cool because they've performed for Ozzy Osbourne himself, and they do like a
wild.
horror like theatrical like parody rock thing, and they change like all of the Black Sabbath songs to like fast food themes. So instead of like I am Iron Man, they say I am frying pan.
That's actually so
and
funny.
it's like it's so silly. And that show is like probably going to sell out. It is like doing really well.
And as it should.
As it should.
But I heard that we might have some tickets on reserve.
Potentially, yes.
Potentially. I don't know. I saw something about a post on our Instagram, and if you like and comment and share it to your story, you could win 2 tickets to see Max Sabbath.
Yeah, so we just did a collaborative post between the Ironworks Instagram, which is just at Buffalo Ironworks, and the FRS Instagram, and we are giving away a pair of tickets. All you got to do is interact with the post. It says kind of the instructions on there.
Yeah.
But these are like highly sought after tickets because that show is definitely going to sell out. It's going to be a packed room.
Yeah.
And the tickets are pretty expensive too. So I would definitely recommend, entering into that giveaway. And you guys are going to talk about it on Radiothon, right?
Yeah, it'll be talked about. At least we know we're doing High Noon. Hot Ones is definitely going to talk about it.
Cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if some hosts mention it along the way.
Yeah,
But I know
for sure.
that our big shows are going to mention it, like Hot Ones, Big Cheese, Lover Call, and we're mentioning it now.
Perfect. And you guys are going to announce the winner tomorrow at noon-ish?
Yeah.
That sounds good. During the Big Cheeseburger Challenge.
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome. And I think it's ironic, too, because with the whole Max Sabbath theme, I thought it was so funny that we're announcing it during the Big Cheeseburger Challenge. But
It's such a good coincidence because it just works.
yes, it does. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. So when you do these types of giveaways, how exactly does that work on the business end? Like, how do you decide, I guess, what schools to partner with and stuff like that?
Yeah, we really like to focus on local people and community because we're a nationally recognized independent venue. So we're just locally based. There's only a very small staff of us, so we're very independent, and we like to kind of stay in that community thing since it is just Buffalo owned and operated. So we like to partner with local radio stations as well. So obviously FRS is a part of that, or Buff State, and we especially like working with students because it gives you guys a learning opportunity and it gives us a way to interact with you, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say FRS was a big choice for us because, obviously I went here and I was part of the station, but it has that audience and there's such a strong music scene here that it's a perfect match.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good show.
I think so too. I'm very excited. I will definitely be posting pictures from it. We've got photographers going, so.
If I can't make it, I will be looking at the pictures.
Yes, it's going to be cool.
Going to be living secondhand.
Yes.
Well, are there any shows coming up that you're excited about as well at any point for the summer?
Yeah, I think one of them that I think is really cool, it's in May. I can't go because I have a wedding that day, but there's this band. They actually have played in Fredonia before. They're called Songbirds, and they do Fleetwood Mac music. And Stevie Nicks' birthday is coming up in May.
Okay.
And they're doing a whole Stevie Nicks birthday celebration.
Oh, that's
so they're
going to
be
so
doing
good.
a bunch of Fleetwood Mac music and Stevie's solo stuff as well. And I'm a big Stevie Nicks fan, so I'm super hyped for that one.
Oh, that sounds so good. I'm still a little shocked that Buffalo bands tour more in the winter.
It's a lot of national bands that come in through Ironworks since we are a 500 cap, but a lot of times we'll have the local bands as support or on the bill as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they do that. There was this one, when I first started, it was mid-December and there was a travel ban and we were stuck at the venue. So,
That's insane.
Yeah, sometimes the shows get canceled too if the weather's bad. But.
Yeah, especially with how much it snows around here.
Oh, for sure.
Well, thank you so much. I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited. Good luck to everyone who's entering our giveaway. Hopefully you get to see Max Sabbath next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you again for coming and chatting with us and partnering with us for Radiothon.
Thank you for having me.
And now we're going to hand it back to the hosts. Thank you again so much, Chloe, for that interview. Now, we're going to take it to Scott with the international news.
Thank you, Izzy. A Haitian woman has been found dead in an ICE facility after having supposedly complained for hours about chest pain without receiving any aid. According to ICE officials, no cause of death has been discovered as of yet, but the public is antsy for answers, as many call foul. House Representative Sheila Cherfilis McCormick, the only Haitian currently in the House, has been adamantly pressing ICE, stating the following, quote, Marie had been complaining about chest pain for hours. They gave her some pills and told her to go lie down. Unfortunately, Marie never woke up. Her loved ones deserve answers. They deserve accountability, like so many immigrant families who have their loved ones missing and who are hurt. End quote. ICE stated in a response, quote, "At no time during detention is a detainee denied emergent care. All people in ICE custody receive medical, dental, and mental health screenings and 24-hour emergency care at each detention facility." End quote. In other news, ENBW, a privately owned conglomerate, has funded a new green energy plant in Germany. The He Dreiht offshore wind farm, supposedly having a total of 64 wind turbines once finished, has had its first turbine built just the other day, after all the concrete foundations have been placed. The goal, with the 15 megawatts the turbines are predicted to supply, is to push Germany past 10 gigawatts of clean energy from 6.6, totally produced domestically. Now that's caring for the planet. That's it for the news, but what about words?
And now it's time for Word of the Week.
For this week, our word is courage. Dead Week is just around the corner here at Fredonia, and today is the start of Radiothon, both things that require great effort from all. Final season is just around the corner, and so is spring break as well. So for all of these things, all these tribulations in the near future, have courage. Courage, of course, means to brave a challenge or difficult period head on, to push past discomfort and pain and overcome that adversity. In the last few weeks here on campus, I urge everyone, especially those about to make big changes, to move forward with courage. Do the things you've always wanted to do, and always, always say what you've needed to say. Held words will haunt you for the rest of your life. Now let's bring it back to your lovely hosts.
Thank you so much, Scott, for the updates. Finally, we have something special for you all that are listening. It's time for Trivia Slightly After 12. On this segment, we test the minds of students here on Fredonia's campus for the chance to win glorious prizes. This week we have 3 wonderful contestants ready to win big. Please introduce yourselves.
Yo, it's Frosty.
Hi, I'm Dan.
Hi, I'm Lola.
It's your girl, Sarah.
And I'm Tatum.
I'm Izzy. Do we have an eraser in here? So sorry.
I do have
a good question.
I have an expo marker here if you want.
No, we have an expo marker. We just don't have an eraser, which means I just need to be good at keeping scores today. It's okay. Anyways, you know the drill. The first person to shout their name after the question is read will be able to take a shot at answering the question.
Good. I'm sorry. So, we're getting a little rowdy here in the booth.
We can't get rowdy. We don't have time.
You guys are up here. I need you guys to lower down over here, guys.
First person to read their name after the question and answer is read will be able to take a shot at answering the question. Each question is worth 1 point, and the person with the most points at the end of the game will be declared the winner. This week's category is NASA. Here we go. So, I feel like every time, and I mean every time, that we talk about mountains, it's always, what's the tallest mountain? But today, contestants, I ask you, what is the smallest mountain in the world? Is it A, White Mountain Peak, B, Mount Whiteproof, C, North Palisade, or D, Mount Sill?
Frosty, C.
Incorrect.
Dan, B.
That is correct.
Oh.
So, fun fact, this Australian mountain apparently hosts the toughest foot race in Australia. Little guy for the win, sitting at 141 feet above the surrounding terrain and 486 feet above sea level. Now, I know we're only one question in, but guys, what do mountains have anything to do with NASA?
That's what I was wondering.
That's what you're wondering? Well, that's fantastic, because NASA on High Noon today means nature and some aromas.
So there's no space question.
Come on.
Okay, well, this is me. Look at who you're talking to. There's probably like one space question.
Okay. I signed up for this for space questions.
Well, it's the same thing that we did with MTV and D&D. D&D a couple of years ago was Dogs and Dads. Shout out Chloe. So let's continue on.
Well, since we got a nature question out of the way, let's get an aroma question out of the way. What season is your sense of smell heightened? Is it A, winter, B, spring, C, summer, or D, fall?
Dan, is it winter?
That is incorrect.
Lola, spring.
That is also incorrect.
Frosty, fall.
Also incorrect.
Who is
sweeping it to?
Wait, who are we Can we sweep to NASA?
Like the
organization?
Like the actual,
Yes.
like...
Wait, no.
Let me
Can
look
we
up who
sweep
the
it to Wally?
administrator is.
No.
Oh.
How about this? How about we sweep it to the high noon host today?
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, I like
To
that.
the high noon.
Nepotism.
To the HNF girlies.
So summer is actually when your sense of smell is heightened, and it's because the added moisture in the air, because of the higher temperatures, increases the moisture in your nasal passages, making your sense of smell heightened.
I knew it couldn't be spring because I'm always congested.
Yeah, that's what I also think. I thought too.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyways.
Anyway, moving on to the third question. So, do you guys know about Fibonacci's number?
Yes.
Okay, so basically,
Not at all.
it is the numbers found in nature to make the golden ratio. So
yes,
in
okay.
like shells, trees, etc. Which one of these numbers is not the Fibonacci number? And I'll just give you a hint right now. Fibonacci's numbers work by, it's like the last two numbers added together. So 1 + 1, 2. 1 + 2 is 3. Okay? That's actually not going to help you in this case, but I figured I'd let you guys know. So A is 13, B is 1,833, C is 1,597, or D, 4,181.
Lola, 1,000.
Which one?
Oh,
There's
I thought that was
is there
choice.
1,800 and then there's 1,500.
1,800.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Aw.
So that is not a Fibonacci number.
I thought it was going to be 13.
So my fun fact is that the Fibonacci's number in the golden ratio is a JoJo reference, Steel Ball Run, which is coming out soon. Very excited because the anime just got confirmed. So
Okay. Slay. Anyways, taking it to question 4. So, there's a company called Noteworthy that will give you a personalized perfume after a quiz. Or you can pick some scents, or aromas if you will, and get a box sent to you. My question, contestants, is which of these aromas is not in scent N743? Is it A, jasmine, B, tuberose, C, magnolia, or D, amber?
Dan, is it D?
That is correct.
I went for whichever one sounded least similar to the others.
I mean, they're all still fairly similar, TBH.
What's a tuberose?
It's a type of flower.
What's amber?
Amber is, I don't know how to quite explain it, but Amber is also my sister. Shout out Amber.
is it like burnt wood? Essentially,
it might be.
It's like tree sap.
Yeah,
But,
like
but, it's,
tree sap.
but it's solidified.
Yeah, isn't that what the mosquitoes?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Jurassic Park.
So-
Yeah.
Okay.
Fun fact, aside from Noteworthy, there's also Olfactory Perfume New York City, which is an experience where you can customize a perfume scent in person. And as I said, shout out Amber, I've been trying to convince my sister that we need to go and have a sister day. And we can do that and like the make your own lipstick in New York City.
Can we add this to the list?
Put it on the list, Tatum.
All right, going on
Road
the
trip
list.
list.
Going on the list.
So if you guys didn't know, we have a road trip list of places we want to go, like based off like the questions or whatever.
Yeah.
How many places do we have right now?
We'll have to calculate
I have
in a
4
little
right
bit.
now.
4? Okay.
There's definitely some that we're missing. We have to have a little meetup and write down everything that we've already said that wasn't on the list.
Yeah, because we only started halfway through this semester alone.
Yeah, but that's okay.
It's okay. You know, we could start a tradition, you know?
We're starting a tradition here.
Besides making perfume, the most recent thing that got put on there was mothing somewhere with
Yes.
Mothman.
Oh, yes. For Moth Week. Yeah, that was last week, I think,
Yep,
right?
yeah, that was from last week. I need that.
All right, are we ready to move on to question number 5?
Always.
Awesome. This is my nature question. How long is our own beloved Canada Way Creek? Is it 3.7 miles, 5.2 miles? Is it 7.3 miles or 8.8 miles?
Lola, B.
That is incorrect.
Frosty, C.
Also incorrect.
Dan, so I'm between A and D.
Yeah, you're between 3.7 miles or 8.8 miles.
I'll go with 3.7.
Also incorrect.
Another one for the Heinrich Friday girlies.
Guys, I'm sorry. I didn't think I made my questions too difficult. Apparently I did.
Dan looks like he's falling apart right now.
Yeah.
No, it's not that.
It's unfortunate. I thought he'd compose himself better. These questions are tough.
My fun fact
I
is
think we're
that
gonna get a queue crash out at some point.
We probably will.
It's something completely unrelated, I promise.
All right,
it's the beginning of Radiothon.
Then leave
No
it
crash
at
out.
the door.
All right.
Your fun fact.
My fun fact is that the Canandaigua Creek also has a flow rate of 3.06 feet per hour, which is like very slow for a creek.
I didn't know any
know
of
that, by the way.
A lot of Googling.
Really? Okay.
A lot
So-
of Googling.
I have a little extra fun fact for you that I found out from being in journalism classes. Give me 1 second. Thanks.
Bless you.
Thanks. Sorry, I had a cough. Anyways, so apparently that whole creek, you know I think it's the Unitarian Church that's across from campus? Mm-hmm. Allegedly, I heard once that whole creek may be owned by that church.
Really?
I've not ever looked into the validity of that statement because I think it's so much more fun to believe that because that's some like small town, like shady, dark secret.
There is
It
a
feels
rumor
like.
that there are like 3 time capsules buried in the creek.
I would believe that.
Yeah, that sounds true.
Anyways.
Allegedly, though.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
And let's allegedly move on. I definitely did not. You know what? We're trying here.
All right, Sarah. You got
Okay,
this.
you know what? We're moving on to question 6, okay? Okay, so y'all feeling tired? I think you guys need some smelling salts to wake you guys up. So which of these is not a smelling salt side effect? Is it A, trouble breathing, B, vomiting, C, heart palpitations, or D, diarrhea?
Dan, is it D?
Incorrect.
Lola, is it A?
Incorrect.
Frosty, I'm gonna say heart palpitations.
Correct. I'm actually surprised that's not a side effect.
I've had smelling salts before. They mess you up.
See, yeah, I've never actually tried smelling
Neither have
salts
I.
before. Like, I've seen people do it as like a gag or whatever, but like, nah.
And
People
if
think
those are the
it's not
side
that
effects,
bad.
I don't want to do it if
It's
those are the
bad.
side effects.
I don't think I want to try smelling salts.
Yeah, that freaks me out a little bit.
I've never fully, like, I've seen them more in movies where they're like, oh, they fainted, get the smelling salts. And then the person, like, revives.
Yeah, but it's always
Yeah.
like a slow revival. When I see people like actually in real life like try a smelling salt, they're like, what? What's going on? Ah!
No, it's like it like travels down you and like burns.
Oh, well,
That sounds miserable.
you know what? I have a burning question for you all.
Wow.
Are you ready for the scores?
Sure.
This is, it's looking a little wacky. No bonus points are yet to be awarded. But right now, in second place, we have a tie of Lola and Frosty. And in first place, we have a tie of Dan and the Heinrich Friday girlies.
Yes.
So we're going to take it to question 7 and see if we can add a little bit, add some more points to the board, maybe for our contestants.
Nah, for us. Let's get
We'll
some
see.
sleeps here.
So, now if I'm gonna talk about nature here in question 7, I gotta talk about the moon. This is for you NASA people.
Oh my
that
God, a
actually
space
wanted a
question in the
space
NASA
question.
episode?
So,
What a thunk.
which of these moons is coming up next in our astronomical calendar? Is it A, the microflower moon, B, the sturgeon moon, C, the buck moon, or D, the strawberry moon?
Dan,
Yeah.
C, because it sounds cool.
Incorrect. And I can
Lola.
tell you why it's called that if you want.
Sure.
It's called that because that's around the time when deer start to grow their antlers back.
Ooh.
Oh, fun.
Anyways,
I'm just thinking of like Stuart Ghibli with that.
what do we think, Lola, Frosty?
Lola, D.
Incorrect.
Frosty, I'm going to say, wait, what was the first two?
A, the microflower moon, or B, the sturgeon moon.
We're in May. I'm going to say the flower moon.
That is correct. So, coming up, we have the microflower moon on May 12th. We have the sturgeon moon on August 9th, the buck moon on July 10th, and the strawberry moon on June 11th.
Isn't a sturgeon a fish?
Yeah, but I looked at the astronomical calendar and this is what it told me was happening, and I didn't actually look into why it's called a sturgeon moon. I was more curious on why a buck moon was called a buck moon. And I found out deer, so...
The buck moon is right after my birthday, the day after my birthday.
So
everyone celebrate the
I'm gonna
buck
send you a
moon
picture
and
of the
my
moon.
birthday. So
I'm gonna send you a
time this
picture
summer.
of the moon. That's gonna
Okay.
be it. I'm gonna be like, happy birthday, Tatum. Here's the moon.
Sounds like an awesome gift. All right, well, moving on to question number 8. According to a Yale study, what is the most recognizable smell? Is it A, peanut butter, B, coffee, C, crayons, or D, chocolate?
Dan, what were the first two? I'm sorry.
First one was peanut butter, the second one was coffee.
I'm gonna say coffee.
That is correct. My fun fact is that the study also found that people with Alzheimer's or early onset Alzheimer's were likely to not be able to smell peanut butter.
Oh.
Well, I'm gonna go smell peanut butter and see if I'm doing all right.
I'm surprised eggs weren't on that list.
I feel like they're not really that
They
fragrant.
weren't the very first thing on the list. I was going for the very first thing on the list.
But listen up, guys. We've got 8 minutes. We need to speed
okay.
through these last 3.
Moving on to question 9.
4. I know how to count.
Yeah, good job. Which of these sharks is critically endangered? Is it A, the sand tiger shark, B, the blacktip reef shark, C, the leopard shark, or D, the zebra shark?
Lola, B.
Incorrect.
Dan, A.
Correct.
I like sharks.
Actually, my fun fact was my favorite animal used to be sharks as a kid.
Nice.
My favorite is the one that wears sneakers.
Okay. So continuing on. Now here on High Noon in question 10, we love getting personal on High Noon. We just love it. So, which of these is the name of the perfume that I'm currently wearing? Is it A, Charosa 59, B, Luminous, C, Sweet Pea, or D, Citrus and Sage?
Frosty, B.
That is incorrect.
What?
Lola, C.
That is correct. Frosty, I feel like that would be the name of something that I would wear, but
Yeah,
no.
that's why I
the
picked it.
perfume that I currently have is something that my sister gave me probably when I was a little bit younger,
Okay, that
and I'm
tracks.
trying to use through all of that perfume. Anyways.
Yeah, it's a Bath and Body Works, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Any scent that you wear has to be like
All right.
named like Luminous
All
or
right,
Shine.
no, we got to keep going. We got to
All right,
keep
we're
going. We
moving.
got 2 questions
We're
left.
moving along. My personal question, woo, nature edition. What is my favorite type of flower? Is it carnations? Is it roses, hydrangeas, or chrysanthemums?
Chrysanthemums.
Also commonly known as mums.
Mums.
Frosty hydrangeas.
That is incorrect.
Dan, the hydrangeas was C, right?
Yeah.
B, I'll go with.
No, it is not roses.
Lola, A.
Also incorrect. I really
Friday
like the
girlies.
mums.
You like mums?
I really like mums. I think they're so pretty in their fall colors.
I really
man.
love Bleeding Heart flowers.
Ooh, my fun
so
fact is
pretty.
that orchids are a close second, but I never want to own them because I know that I'll kill them in T-2 seconds because they
Which
literally
is so valid.
Like you breathe in the wrong direction and they die.
I actually have a fun fact about that, but we gotta move on to question 12 here. So, the lavender essential oil, where you get like the smell aroma from, is commonly extracted through the process known as stem distillation. Which specific compound found in lavender is primarily responsible for its calming and anti-anxiety effects? Is it A, thymol, B, linamol? I can't say half these words. I'm sorry, guys. Linamol. Okay, we'll just say linamol. C, camphor, or D, limonene.
Lola, A.
Incorrect.
Dan, B.
Correct.
Sorry, Frosty.
Yeah. So while the smell of lavender is calming for us humans, bugs actually hate it.
Yeah,
I'm also not a fan of it, honestly.
What? I love lavender.
I don't know.
Isn't lavender also supposed to be like bad for dogs? Did I hear that somewhere?
I think it's bad for cats.
Oh,
if I'm
maybe it was
mistaken.
Hey, you want to know something magical? The scores are done.
Yay!
That's, I think, the quickest I've ever done the scores, but this has been the easiest scoring I've ever had. So are we ready to hear who has won? As I almost knocked my phone off the table. Are we ready to hear who has won?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Woo.
I was going to say, no, everyone just kind of just sat there
I'm hyped.
silently. So, in last place, with 2 points, we have Frosty. In third place, we have Lola with 3 points. And in first place, with a staggering 6 points, we have Dan.
Yay!
So, there are actually some bonus points on here. Lola, you got the +1 So Golden for knowing the number that Sarah was talking about, like knowing what it actually was. We got a +1 High Friday Girlies point for To The List. And then we got a +1 I Like Sharks for Dead.
I
had
love
to
sharks.
do it. It was just the way they went, I like sharks. So I've had so much fun. We're going to do the quickest, no, actually this won't be the quickest outro we've ever done. But I think that it's time that we hand it back to the host.
That wraps it up for this week's broadcast of High Noon Friday. Thank you for joining us, and make sure you tune in next week, same time, same place. High Noon Fridays were brought to you by WCVF 88.9 FM The Voice and WDVL 89.5 The Inferno on the web.
High Noon Friday is assembled through collaboration with students from Fredonia Radio Systems. Our producers and scriptwriters are Izzy Noel, Sarah Lotus-Photo, and Tatum Erickson. Board operation is performed by Tatum Erickson. News is presented and read by Maisie Strader and Scott Bassett. Sports is written and performed by Matt Voltz, and Weather is prepared and read by Regan Jackson. Tune in next week for another great edition of High Noon Friday. I'm Izzy Noel.
And I'm Sarah Lotus-Photo. Thank you for listening, and make sure you tune in same time, same place next week. Have a great weekend and have a great radio station.
Yeah,
Radiothon.
continue listening for the rest of Radiothon. We'll be here. We'll be around.